It's May 10th, 2022. I'm Todd Dunn. Today, I'm back in a boat shed aboard my 1972 Allied Princess 36 Sequester. And today I just wanted to kind of update you a little bit on what's been going on. I know I haven't posted too many videos recently. That's because things have been complicated in my life. First off, I'll tell you the really bad news. Our kitty, Gracy Grayfur, has been very sick for the last several months. And starting about the beginning of April, things got a lot worse. She stopped eating, and we took her in to the veterinarian, who discovered that she had, if you will, plugged up. So the vet flushed her out, and she was eating but very little. And while the vet was flushing her out, they also took an x-ray and discovered something that they thought needed a closer look. They were unable to do it, so they scheduled an appointment for us with a much more comprehensive veterinary hospital. And we took her up there in Bangor on the 15th of April, and she got a scope down her throat, and they did not find anything. And so they took more x-rays, and they did discover a spot that was apparently in her left lung. And they didn't know what it was. It was just a spot on the x-ray. They sent off the x-rays to a radiologist who looked at it and decided that it was either an abscess or cancer. So it was decided that on May 4th, Gracie would have surgery to either remove the abscess or remove the tumor if it was cancer, and at least find out what it was. On top of that, on April 15, Gracie had stopped eating. She wasn't eating at all. So they put a feeding tube in. So starting in the evening of April 15, I started feeding Gracie 4 times a day with the feeding tube, which at first she did not take well to. She really objected to being held while I was feeding her. But that gradually went away. And she was doing all right until right around the end of April, when she managed to pull the feeding tube out. And since she was still refusing to eat anything, I had to make a quick run back to Bangor, and the vet put the feeding tube back in. Well, the anesthesia they used for that kind of knocked her down, and she took a day or two to recover from it. Well, was doing all right, but she was slowing down. And she was also having trouble with her bowels, and that she plugged up again and stopped. I couldn't put any more food in because basically nothing was going through. So we took her in on May 4th, the day for the surgery. They did more x-rays and really identified that the spot they'd been looking at looked much smaller, which looked really positive. Then they did a CT scan before committing to surgery to get a precise location for it. And that's when the bad news came. They discovered that she had a collapsed lung. And the decision was made not to do the surgery. So they brought her out of anesthesia, which she had been struggling with. And they did another enema to clean her out. And we took her home on Wednesday, the 4th of May. And she deteriorated rapidly after that. When we got her home, she was walking around a little shaky from the anesthesia, but by Thursday that was better, and she got up onto bed and slept snuggled up to me Thursday night, which was very nice. But Thursday morning, when she went to get off the bed, she fell off the bed and really whacked herself pretty good. It's not a very high bed, but still, it's about 18 inches. And just laid there for about an hour before she moved again. And then she was just lying on the carpet, not looking very happy. I fed her that morning, and that went well. And so about midday Friday, she decided to come downstairs from the bedroom, and that's a spiral staircase. And before I could get up to stop her, she had fallen down 2 stairs. And I finally got up and sort of caught her and carried her down the rest of the way. And she was in terrible shape. She could barely stand up, and but she managed to get to her litter box, which we had set up in the living room because of her difficulties, and used it for the first time since her vet visit, which was really positive because we were a little concerned about that, and seemed a little bit better, although she was really lethargic. And during the day on Friday, she just laid around. That night, I blocked off access to the stairs going up to the bedroom and to the stairs going down to the ground floor in the house. We have a 3-floor house with the living room on the 2nd floor. And at that point, I decided to sleep in the living room with her, so I laid out some blankets on the floor, and she came over and kind of cuddled up against me. And we went to sleep about 10 o'clock. However, at about midnight, I woke up to her wheezing and having a great deal of trouble breathing. And within about a minute, she stopped breathing and died. And it looks like the other lung must have collapsed. So Gracie Grayfur left us Friday night, May 6th, 2022. It was a really, really sad night, and I'm still pretty sad. But at least she was home with us and cuddled right up against me when she died. And I buried her Saturday morning with our 2 previous cats out in the woods that they all loved so much. So I have to say goodbye, Gracie Grayfur. We'll miss you for a long time. So that is the main reason I haven't been making very many videos lately. And it's going to change now, though, because I'm no longer constrained to look after Gracie every few hours round the clock. And we don't have to have somebody home with her all the time, obviously. Anyway, kind of a sad weekend. Did go for a walk in Acadia National Park, as you saw if you watched my last video. And then yesterday, my wife went to a doctor's appointment in the city, which is Ellsworth, about 20 miles away. And while she was there, she got in an automobile accident. Now, she wasn't hurt, but her car was. And I spent yesterday afternoon dealing with insurance companies and body shops and rental car companies. And this morning I took the car, which my wife drove home, back to the back into town to get an estimate for the repair. And it's repairable, but all the body shops around here are booked solid until August. So my wife's car, which really can't be driven much, is pretty much out of circulation for the next 3 months. We probably won't get it repaired until about the middle of August. So that's putting a crimp in our style for the summer. And I get to be a chauffeur and drive my wife around because she will not drive my truck. But I guess that means on the plus side, Gracie was never a sailor. We took her out a few times right after we got her, and she promptly got really seasick and it was clear she was having zero fun, so we quit taking her out on the boat, and that limited how much we could use either boat to, short overnights where we came home and got back home early the next day. So this summer, without Gracie, I think we're probably going to try to use the boats more. And since my wife's car will be in the car hospital all summer, we aren't going to be doing a lot of driving around in that car, so that will also push us onto the boat more. So hopefully we'll get some decent trips in this summer for the first time in years. Anyway, that's what I wanted to say. It's a very sad few days for us, and it was very difficult to see our beautiful cat girl die, but everybody dies, and we just have to live with our sorrow. Thanks for watching. Please give me a thumbs up. It would make me feel better. And if you haven't, please consider subscribing to my channel, because there will be quite a few sailing videos, and we will be going places we haven't been in years on the boat this summer. Thank you for watching.